Hello everybody. Welcome to day one of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches for October. I'm really excited about this series. I've got everything all together and I'm really hoping that I can do all 30 days or 31 days since it is October, and we generally do have a bonus sketch, and I believe we do this month. So I'm really excited to get started, and like I said, I'm planning to do everything. I don't know that I will have videos for every single page, as that may not work out, but I'm going to try to do videos for as many pages as I can. So let me kind of talk about what I've got for day one. So our day one sketch is by designer Rachel Gilliland. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, so I'm sorry if it is incorrect. And she has a really cool layout with a lot of hexagon shapes and stars and all kinds of cool little things. I'm probably not going to follow this exactly because it has sparked, some other creative ideas for me. So I'm just going to kind of go with what is in my head and see if I can make a go of that. So this is the sketch. Really cool looking sketch this time. And I'm going to be using one of my older Hip Kit Club kits. It was called Together is Best. I don't know what month this was from, as I've had it for, like I said, quite some time. And I'm trying to finish using it up. I doubt that I will get through all of it today, but that's okay. I know that I am going to use this really colorful sheet right here. This is the sheet that kind of sparked my idea to begin with. So I'm going to use this sheet. And then I do have this scrap here that I like that goes along with it. We've got a few other sheets. Probably won't use any of the frames. I'm not sure about this green one or the polka dots, but like you can see, I don't really have that much of it left. I have a few full sheets of paper left, so I'm going to use what I can. But I know that I'm going to start out with a white background, and I want to do a little bit of mixed media on this background. I've already prepped this with gesso, and this is one of Vicki Boutin's like foundation mixed media papers, so it's pretty thick and it can handle quite a bit of mixed media. So I'm going to start with that. And I had like a partial sheet that had all of these butterflies on it. So I went ahead and I fussy cut these all out just so that I would have them ready. I knew I didn't want to use the sheet. It was all kind of jagged anyway. So I've got these to use, as well as I have all of these embellishments that were left from the kit. So I have plenty of stuff to use here. The photo I'm going to be scrapping today is of my daughter when she was like 2 or 3 years old, and we went to Universal Studios in Florida, and this was just a picture of her sitting in the little buggy that we had, and she had a big old smile on. So I thought this would be a really cute one to scrap for this layout. So let me go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to do a little bit of mixed media, so let me start with that. And I will come back here as soon as I'm ready to do that. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to take a couple of my shimmers. One was Seize the Day, and the second one is Frostbite. I just held them up for y'all. And these are just some sprays, and I'm going to do a technique that I don't do too often, which is I'm just going to spray them directly onto the paper. Now, usually I use like the shimmers sprays in the little pots, so, I generally put them on with a paintbrush, but this time, since I decided to use sprays, I figured why not just spray them on. So you can just see me here. I am just kind of alternating between the colors, Seize the Day and Frostbite, and I'm also spraying a bit of extra water to help blend them together. Here I take out my paintbrush just for a second to smooth out a couple of like kind of jaggedy looking areas. Didn't really work too well, so I only did it a little bit. And now I'm going back in with those two colors, and I'm just adding some splatters here just to give a little bit more concentration of each of the colors. And I really like the effect when you have this wet. It just kind of spreads out and make this really cool fuzzy edge on everything, and it just seems to bleed into each other, and it's really cool. Another thing I'm going to do here is you can see me just adding some water to some acrylic white paint. And I love the effect of this when you add white paint on top of your wet shimmers paints or any other watercolor paint that you're using. It gives us a really cool marbled effect, and it just really honestly makes the whole background. So I think it turned out really, really cool, and I'm glad that I decided to do the white. Here I'm just using normal size splatters, but now I'm getting a little bit more water. I'm going to do some bigger drops onto the paper so that I have some like kind of big white sections here. I mean, it's not going to be huge. They're just going to be a little bit bigger drops and quite a bit more noticeable. I'm going to add a bit more water here to help that spread just a bit, and I'm going to just kind of move my my background around a bit, and there it is, all dry. I went ahead and left for a couple of hours and let it all dry, and I really like how it turned out. As you can see, it gets a little bit lighter in color, but that's okay. I didn't want it to be super in your face anyway, so I think it turned out really great. At this point, I'm going ahead and I am cutting into that kind of diamond multicolored sheet that has all the colors of the collection in it. And this I'm going to use in place of those hexagons that she had on the sketch. I decided not to go with the shapes, and so I decided instead of the shapes, I'm just going to do like a strip down the middle of paper, and then for the middle hexagon that looked like it kind of stood out from the other two, I'm just going to use as my photo here. So I'm putting a little bit of a mat around the photo in the pink paper, and then that's going to act kind of like that section of the hexagons there. So I know I'm like deviating from the sketch, but this was kind of what I wanted to do all along because I'm planning something different for the background. So I'm going to go ahead and scuff the edges of this because it was kind of one of those layouts that felt like it needed to be messier. Whenever I do mixed media on the back, I don't tend to like really flat and straight edges on any papers I layer on top of it because it just doesn't seem to go very well for me. I've seen lots of people do it and it's pretty, but whenever I do it, I can't leave it. So I'm going to go ahead and scuff up those edges. In a minute, when I go off camera, I'm going to actually curl up those edges of the multicolored paper a little more because I wanted it to have just a bit more dimension on the page. So here I'm just getting these butterflies out, and you guessed it, instead of all the little hexagons in the back, I'm going to use these butterflies that I fussy cut. I had just the right amount left, didn't have very many, because what did I have? Maybe like a third of a sheet of paper left that had the butterflies on it. So I fussy cut those out, and I decided instead of the hexagons kind of going across the back of the page, I was going to do the butterflies. And I'm happy I did. I like how it turned out. Right now I'm just dry fitting everything just to kind of see where they might look good. I will go off camera to glue them all down. I did not use any dimension behind the butterflies. I just folded up their wings a bit, so they will flatten some in my album, but that's okay because they are not attached anywhere but in the center, or for those little butterflies that are hanging off the side of the page, they're gonna attach on their wing, and so they will still give dimension even though I don't put any foam behind them. It just kind of helps to keep my pages from getting too fat inside my album, not like I normally care because I tend to like to do that anyway. Okay, so here we have all of the butterflies are tacked down, as well as that center strip and my photo. I put my photo up on foam. I went ahead and just kind of applied some adhesive to the back of the word happy and some foam so it would stick out. And my title is going to be Happy Wonderful Little Moments, I believe is what it reads by the time it gets done. I just pulled these out of the ephemera and just kind of pieced them together using up as much as I could, even though in the end I don't tend to add a ton because with the butterflies and the busyness of the page, it just didn't need very much by the time I was done. So here's that title going on. I did put the happy and the wonderful up on foam, and then the little moments, I just scuffed up the edges and tacked it down. That little piece of ephemera of the little tennis shoes, I thought those were adorable, and I don't know when else I would use them, so I thought they looked really cute on this page, so I went ahead and I put them down there. I am going to put a little bit of foam, as you see, right here, just to kind of, I want them to sit kind of on that curled edge of the strip of paper down the center, so I'm going to add a little bit of dimension so that it can sit nicely up on that curled edge. And then here's just a little potted plant. I'm going to go ahead and scuff him with just my fingernails. When I get something this small, I don't feel the need to use my scissors or my little scuffing tool. It's just easier to do it with my fingernails. So, and it helps me to control the amount of pressure and scuff I'm doing to it so I don't rip it. This is just a little tag that was in, it was kind of a half tag, so I decided to make it into a full tag by cutting off the other side. And so I'm going to put this up on the top here. It's just got a little tiny flower on it. At some point I can come in and I can write the year and where we were at up on the top, but for now I did not include that because I have to go back and check when we went, just to make sure I get the right date. And I don't remember what this little piece says. Y'all can read it better than I can. It's just a little wordy bit that was in the ephemera kit, and I just thought it was cute. It's got a little heart on the bottom, so I thought it was really cute and went nicely with this layout, so I decided to add it up on the top. And then once I get this down, I'm only going to add one more little piece of ephemera, which is one more little potted plant there. You can see him. I'm going to scuff him up a little bit with my fingernails as well. Not much, just a little so that he kind of sticks up off the page. A little piece of foam right at the very top, so it's kind of just the top part is off from the page and the rest is flat. And that is it for ephemera. Really, like I said, I didn't do much as far as ephemera goes, unless you count the butterflies, which we do. But as far as stuff from the kit, I did not use that much. Off to the side, you can see I got some more white paint. I was going to add some more white splatters, and then I remembered I wanted to add some enamel dots. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to sprinkle enamel dots all over the page. I'm doing kind of the obligatory like little three grouping of three above and below each little cluster that I did here. And then I'm going to decide to just kind of randomly sprinkle the colors throughout with the butterflies. Not too many of them. I'm just honestly trying to use up some of these kits and some of these embellishments that I've had for quite some time. And so I decided, why not? Let's just put some throughout the page. You can see here that I'm putting glue on. I'm only doing this because it's got the mixed media on the background, and it's really hard for anything that has that is already have adhesive on it to stick to this stuff. So I just add a little wet glue to kind of help it hold. Excuse the way I'm holding my glue bottle at times. Not that time, it was okay. I have really sore thumbs for whatever reason, whether it's arthritis or carpal tunnel or something, and so sometimes I cannot squeeze with my thumbs. So you'll see me there holding my bottle. Kind of funny. Excuse that. But I'm just going ahead and just sprinkling these throughout. I'm using several different colors, most of the colors that are on there. I don't think I used the dark green one, just because I really don't have much green, and I especially don't really have any dark green. So I just kind of stuck to the other colors there, the orange, the pink, the light peach color, yellow, and then I think I did use at least one of the light green. So now I can get to adding my splatters, and that's going to be the very last thing that I do to this layout. I just decided to use the white because I thought that we could use just a little bit more brightness on top of all the color. I thought about using the other two colors, but I decided that white would just stand out a little bit more against all of the color of the embellishments, and then just give us a little more brightness here on the background. So here it is.
You can see all the dimension. You can't really see the sparkle of the shimmers, but believe me, it is there. And that is it for day 1. I hope you all enjoyed this layout and that you get some inspiration here from both the sketch and from what I did with it. Make sure you go ahead and go to the playlist so you can see what everyone else has done. And if you have not hit that subscribe button to my channel, please go ahead and do so. I only have 10 more until I have 500 subscribers. So thank you all for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.